my mind until we put this to a vote was the possibility for abuse. If the problem were simply superfluity or na hindi naman kailangan yung batas na ito, may mga batas na. Pero ang mas mapanganib, what's more dangerous, Maria, is, for example, the surrender of an important part of the power of the purse of Congress to the office of the president. So saan na papasok yung checks and balances? Did we give the president, did we let the president share Congress's power of the purse in exchange for some good anti-COVID measures na pwede naman nating gawin under current laws and programs and even existing funds? And Congress was willing to give the executive a supplemental budget. Bakit hindi na lang yun ang ipinasa namin?
Senator, the rush for this, right? We see in the United States, for example, the U.S. Senate didn't give the President Trump what he asked for. Why was there such a rush to do this in the Philippines?
Well, perhaps there's already, at dapat lang, more of a sense of urgency here in the Philippines than our American sisters and brothers are sensing from their president. I would have also wanted more time for us, for example, those of us in self-quarantine, to be able to get back on the floor to interpolate and to personally propose our amendments. But I guess the sense of urgency that has belatedly caught up on us moved Congress to act post-haste. Okay lang naman sana kung nagmamadali, pero we should have been guided by a clear strategy, which until now, the morning after or hours after, we still don't have. It should really be health in command here, not primarily law enforcement alone, not primarily trade and industry alone, but those very important supporting actors. Health and common sense supported by enforcement and logistics, for example. Pero ano nga ba talaga yung strategy natin to slow and eventually stop the spread of COVID-19? To identify, the law did not even include mass testing. So paano natin i-establish yung ating baseline so that we know how many Filipinos are sick, how many severely, how many mildly, paano natin aalagaan yung severely sick, isolate them, treat them, how do we protect those who are still well, how do we capacitate our health system so that it doesn't collapse but instead copes with the number of illnesses and I hope less rather than more deaths. How do we protect our frontline health service providers? So ang daming concerns na maaga pang sinasabi. Lately we have more of a sense of urgency, but we can't act on this like putting out small fires around a big forest fire. Kailangan meron talaga tayong malakihang strategy, and within that we identify the firefighting measures and we put the resources behind those. Right now, 10 hours after we passed the law, we still don't have that. We have a menu of good action points that could have been done by our government under existing laws, and we have the funds for those. So, medyo frustrating lang talaga, Maria.
Senator, last question is, the Duterte administration has always reached for emergency powers. And so if you look at what happened online all yesterday, people were watching. It seems like there is far greater. Part of it is because we're all working from home. Everyone is watching, right?
Yeah.
I'm just surprised to listen to congressmen, to the Congress and to the Senate, and to see a lack of real understanding isn't the right word, but to see a lack of acknowledgement that President Duterte in his last two proclamations and his last two press conferences was largely incoherent. We hear Congressman El Rey Villafuerte talk about how President Duterte understands and is quick to decide. No one is arguing against a lockdown. In fact, Filipinos want strong action, but hasn't our legislature just ceded control to an executive that seems incoherent at best?
Well, that's the danger about what we have done, Maria. We haven't addressed the problem by laying out the baseline and the complete situation, or as far as we can capture it from the data. We haven't formulated and assertively proposed a strategy to, as the experts say, we should be heard more, as the experts say, to flatten the curve. And we haven't rallied the package of actions and resources, including human resources, to implement this strategy starting today. To, as Tomas Poy wrote beautifully again, to buy us time. And instead, we haven't addressed to that main job, but we have handed unnecessary emergency powers to a president who has not shown the good faith of using even the ordinary powers in an efficient, let alone democratic way. So what have we done? We're not addressing the problem. We're not addressing the problem yet. I hope we're not creating more of a problem. So as I mentioned earlier, just moving forward, using this new tool that we have, this law, though it's not the best and major tool that we need, let's prevent it from being turned into a sledgehammer. Let's make it as useful as possible by making sure that the good stuff in it is implemented actually and well. But for one, with the health experts and the public health advocates and our heroic frontline health service providers. I'm so sad our family cardiologist, Dr. Hara, was just reported today as having died early this morning. With wonderful people like him and the wonderful people in our public and private health sector and people on the ground who have a lot of common sense, I'll continue to, within the Senate, exercise oversight and really keep on raising policy and program proposals, how we are truly not primarily through this law, how we are to address COVID-19, how we are to, really live out a beautiful value of the WHO in public health emergency preparedness, which is duty to care. So let's take care of ourselves, of each other, and of all people.
Thank you.